I think what she is. I got a friend of mine. He's from Honduras. Says it's one of the tribes. I never seen these people.
All right.
How you guys like today?
Good.
So like today, I can't call him because he won't answer.
Are you from Honduras too?
No, I'm from Europe. I'm Portuguese.
Don't want to answer.
But no, he says it's Sabah, so
It's
he
what?
will not answer.
Okay. That's good. That's cool.
So
All
he
right.
just studies the Bible. Sometimes I do it with him, but you gotta answer your phone, man. It's different times. Right? You guys have a good day, huh?
You too. That's curious, man. You know, to be curious, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, this shit not gonna stay. I don't know what we're gonna do for that. So keep leaning. Shit, too new to be acting like that. Nah, it's just loose. It's just loose. I need to tighten it. All right, Shalom. First and foremost, we want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, and Kakadash. And double honor to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Peace, love, salutations, and blessings to the house of David, which is the elect. Damn, this shit fucked up. So bear with us. Want to rest it on the sun? Yeah, I mean, that's not going to really change much. Let me see. Hopefully that stays like that. Yeah. All right. Hey, once again, Salaki about that. We come out here through the spirit and power of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, man, to prophesy the coming of the kingdom of heaven, right? The coming of the day of the Lord, all right, who the world ignorantly, falsely calls Jesus Christ, right? We come in as ministers of Yahweh Shai to prophesy his return, man, to set up the kingdom of the Heavenly Father on earth where righteousness will dwell, okay? And, before that takes place, as you see, there are certain events, certain signs, that the Lord was going to visit this world. Get a second, just the 9th chapter. And that's exactly what you have going on in this earth right now, man. Since January 20th, there's been a heavy vibration that the guy Donald Trump is pushing out, which is ultimately to do what? To try to reestablish, right, and cement the Edomite supremacy, on the earth through Babylon the Great, through America, man. And in order for that to happen, what are they doing? They're coming after the Lord's chosen people, as they've always done in history, right? In the time of the Greeks, who did Antiochus Epiphanes slaughter, man? He came after the southern kingdom, right? Judea during the time of the Romans, right? Which Yahweh Shai prophesied when he was on the scene, 40 years before, that there was going to come the 70 AD, right? The desolation or the destruction of Jerusalem during that time. And both times, what did Esau do? He attacked the temple, right? He attacked and desecrated the temple of the Lord, man, because these devils, right? They know that the connection that Israel has, ultimately it was the temple during the time, back then. But what Yahweh Shai came and did was to establish that spiritual temple. Brother Austin heard hold was that 1 Peter the 2nd chapter or 2 Peter, 1 Peter the 2nd chapter. But nonetheless, you have over there in Newark, New Jersey, you had a raid by ICE, ICE agents, and you had a bunch of so-called illegal immigrants, and actually even citizens themselves, regular citizens that got detained. Because as the scripture says, man, there was going to be a time of trouble amongst Israel. And that goes for all of the tribes. You just had that guy up here that said that he has a friend that's from Venezuela, Honduras rather, that he said that he's a part of the tribe. So this truth has gone out, man. Jake has woken up. And don't think for a second that Esau is not aware of that, man. These elites are aware of the fact that Israel is remembering themselves. And that's a very, very detrimental to their kingdom. That's very detrimental to their establishment, man, because they know, and I'm speaking about the ones that are, what they call themselves the illuminated ones, right? All right, the Luciferians on the left-hand side. They know that if Israel wakes up and calls upon the one and true living God, whose name is Yahweh through his son Yahweh Shai, that their power, their supremacy is over. So what we come out here to do, although it may look trivial, although it may look foolish to the world, this is a very serious matter that we're doing, man. Right? This is a spiritual battle of the dominion of the earth, man. And Lord willing, we are a part of those first fruits that have that dominion. But nonetheless, Esau sees this, and that's why in Revelation 12:12 he says what? That he's going to come down with great wrath because he knows he has but a short time. So as Trump is passing these executive orders, right, he's getting rid of these programs, right? He got rid of birthright citizenship, equal employment opportunity, right? Equal housing opportunity. Who is that ultimately going to affect the most? As you Israelites, because they want to put that squeeze on people, so then when they come in with that final solution, solution, that MOTB, everybody will be at a point. Everybody will be at a point of feeling like they have no other choice, feeling like they have no other options. So the only thing to do in order to survive, in order to live, is to bow the knee to the image of Baal. But if you got the faith in Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, and that is what we're coming out here to declare to our people, then you won't have to worry about none of those things, man, because the Lord said that he will deliver us in those days. You got it. Second Esdras.
Second Esdras.
You get our first Peter too.
Second Esdras 9, and he answered me then and said, "Measure thou the time of diligently in itself."
Yeah, man, that's important, man. It's important, of utmost importance, to measure the time diligently. You got to be continuously watching, man. Right? Did not Yahweh Shai speak? You get that in Matthew 13. I think it's like 30. Did not the Lord speak about watching? Right? The parable of the 10 virgins. 10 were 5 were wise, 5 were foolish. The ones that were wise is because what? They kept their oil, right? They trimmed their lamps. They were watching. They were being attentive to hear the cry of the coming of the bridegroom, which is representative of the coming of Yahweh Shai, man. See? So the Lord said here to what? Measure the times diligently. And how do you measure the time? By paying attention to what is happening in the earth. Because the things, the motions, these different political movements, right? Trump saying that he no longer, we may no longer need, we being America, no longer needs NATO. NATO needs us. America doesn't need NATO, right? And then you got people on the comment board saying, yeah, we should have been get out of the NATO pact, right? They're talking about, yeah, we don't need NATO. Not realizing that this all is biblical prophecy. Because if you're saying to your allies that we don't need you, and you can go and defend yourself, remember, NATO, which Zelensky, when he was at the World Economic Forum, he made a speech, and he said that Russia's main threat, or Russia's is a bigger threat to NATO, I mean, to EU than it is to America. It's a threat to America as well, but because it's right on the doorsteps, yeah, the proximity of it, it's more of a threat that they need to be more secure in handling Russia because they're right there. And they're talking about that Russia can invade Poland in 2028, that he's not going to just stop at Ukraine. So you got that rhetoric being spoken of, and then you have Donald Trump over here saying, oh, yeah, we don't need NATO. That's going to cause a dissension, a divide amongst Satan's house, right? Because you have America and NATO now being divided, and then you got Esau in general all throughout the world being divided, right? Because Russia, Ukraine, NATO, EU, Turkey, well, the elites of Turkey, right? These are Edomites, man. We're in Esau's kingdom in general, and he's just fighting amongst himself. In the kingdom of heaven, you're not going to have the different tribes fighting amongst each other, man. During the time of the house of David, when King David finally established the kingdom, you didn't have the tribes fighting during the time of King Solomon. The tribes weren't fighting amongst each other. But you have Esau fighting amongst himself, which is a sign of the end. The Lord said, if Satan's house be divided, it cannot stand but hath an end. So we're living in Satan's dominion, his time, but you seeing all these divisions, all these infightings, right? And political, the left versus the right, they're fighting each other. Egyptians against Egyptians are fighting each other. This is not a stable way to have a kingdom, man. Right. Everybody's not on the same page. And when everybody's not on the same page, nothing gets done.
And when thou seest part of the signs past, which I have told thee before, second verse, then shalt thou understand that is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made.
There you go, man. So when you see part of the signs past, which the angel is telling Ezra, when you see some of the signs past, which I told you before, when you read Second Ezra, the 5th chapter, the 6th chapter, the 7th chapter, the 6th chapter tells you when Ezra asked what should be the parting asunder of times, the angel told him that Esau represents the end of the world. So that's part of the sign. So now we know who Esau is. We through the Spirit, Esau has been identified, right? And you see, he's literally bringing the end of the world, man. When they're talking about AI is going to be ruling and controlling the way that you live, it's going to be able to tell you what you need to, how much air you got to breathe in, well, how much food you got to buy and eat, all these different things. They said that before, when you went to go get a house or a loan for a house, there'll be an actual person there that would tell you your credit score, and they'll tell you, if you are qualified for a house or not. They say now when you go to a bank, the person is just putting it, putting it into the AI generator, and the AI is telling the person whether or not they're qualified for a house. So the human interaction is being completely changed. People are using Chat GTP to being able to how to pick up girls, right? How to deal with arguments. They're using it for work, writing emails for them. So everything is being used through inorganic means. And that's what Yuval Harari said, that the God of the Bible created organic, but we create inorganic. And they're trying to take that inorganic creation and put it inside you and make you now enslaved to the inorganic that he made. Now your identification is no longer who you are when you talk to somebody. It's what is in this digital cloud, man. If you're not in this digital cloud, you're not identifiable, because that digital cloud is able to track and trace who you are, what you do, how much you make, where you live, all these things. And that's how this devil is trying to be like the Most High on the earth.
I would say, because to add on to that, I don't know if brother saw it, but Donald Trump met with the World Economic Forum, but met with the banks, like the heads of the banks. Mm-hmm. I know Santander was one of the banks. Bank of America was one of the banks. And through the course of all that, I know he talked about all the financial stuff. But then what we came to the broad spectrum and everything, he said about the AI shit. He said about building the whatever centers, AI centers, okay, building those, right? But the bitch from Santander Bank, because he wasn't there. Like Trump wasn't there. He was looking at him through the screen. But he basically said, like, yo, the chick from Santander told him that, look, we're basically all trying to get together. We can make everything work for everybody, right? Mm-hmm. It's one of those meetings. It's like a forum, right? But then when she said, what, we going straight forward and going ahead to push the digital part of it. We're trying to go to the digital side of everything now. And that was what that was all about. Because that's what everybody always went back to, the digital. Right. So Trump is going to be the guy to have all these banks. Remember, they all profit from America still. So they all still want to have America under their kind of, you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So that digital shit, that's being pushed out, like the brother say, that's getting pushed heavy, man. And Trump is the one doing it.
Yep. And Trump, remember, and I always make mention of it, when Trump first, when the whole digital currency first was being traction, and Trump was in office back in his first term, he said he was against digital currency, right? He said cash was king. But now he say he's making a national strategic I forgot what it was, but he's basically making it of a national strategic importance to push the whole blockchain, push the digital currency system. He said he's gonna do great things with digital currency. So what do you think all this is tied to? See, the scriptures, the Lord had this all written. It's all there in the scriptures, man.
Oh.
And that's why a brother can hold real quick. I know I had to get something. You hold get Habakkuk 2 real quick. 2 and 4. That's why the Lord said to do what? The vision was yet for an appointed time, man. You got it?
Habakkuk 2 verse 4. Behold, his soul which is lifted up is not upright in him, but the just shall live by his faith.
That's right, man. You gotta live. You're gonna have to live by your faith, man. The times that we're coming into is you're gonna have to actually truly have faith that there's a higher power that can deliver you. It's not a game, man. It's not just you just saying it, right? And first and foremost for us up here, the most, man, because we out here putting our lives on the line. We're out here that's ones that are proclaiming this word. We're out here are the ones that's telling this devil that he's going down in his kingdom, man. And like I said, you don't think these devils see this? It tells you in Isaiah the 13th chapter that what? Going to the gates of the nobles. These things are being entered into these meetings that they have off camera. Understand that, yeah, they're talking about what the Hebrew Israelites are doing, man, because they've done said it on camera. You've had the ex FBI director say that, oh yeah, they've been looking into the what they call the BHI movement. See, this is not something that can be ignored. Just like during the time of Paul and Rome. He got imprisoned in the Roman Empire for teaching the gospel of the kingdom of heaven. And it got all the way up until who? Caesar, man. Who do you think put Paul to death? So if you don't get that faith, like how Paul had faith, Paul said, you know, I'm ready. I finished my course. I kept the faith. I'm ready now to be offered, because when I die, I know that there's a crown of righteousness waiting for me. You got to really believe that, man. Because if you don't really believe that Yahweh Shai was raised from the dead, that the Heavenly Father had the power to raise Yahweh Shai from the dead, then you are going to be fearful of death when Esau presents death as the only alternative, as either bow or die, man. Matter of fact, I was going to do a video on it. There was this a cartoon back during Benjamin Franklin. It was like a little cartoon illustration he made of the 13 colonies. A brother can look it up. It's the 13 colonies cut up into a snake, cut up into 13 pieces, and it was 13 colonies. And at the bottom, it said "join or die." And that's what that was the mentality that Esau had back when he was establishing Babylon, establishing America. Is either you got down with America, you got down with what the so-called forefathers were doing, or you was going to be put to death. And why was it a snake? See, the Lord had all the clues in the scriptures, man. When he talks about the serpent, when he talks about the dragon, Donald Trump, not Trump, was it Trump? No, Elon Musk. He had a rocket, I believe it was called the Great Dragon. It was called the Great Dragon, man. One of his space explorations. Yep. Join or die. You have the eagle. All throughout America, you have the symbol of the eagle. The scripture tells you who the eagle is connected to. These things weren't just by coincidence, man. Remember, this is the Lord's movie. Everything, the Lord said, I declare the end from the beginning, then everything that is happening, the Lord already foreordained it to happen. So when you start to see certain things that align, it's not a coincidence. It's not, oh, you get your tinfoil hat. You're just trying to connect the dots. No, the Lord put a spirit on Esau, Edom to be linked, to be connected with the eagle, man. That's why you see it on the back of your dollar, back of your quarter. Yep, and Obadiah. It was always been like that. From the Greeks, the Romans, and now here in the Little Horn. Go ahead.
Yea, also because he transgresseth by wine.
So like, yeah, I might have been 3. Yeah, the visions for appointed time. But going back to where it just said there, the soul of his pride is Salakia.
Upright, the spirit, upright.
It said the spirit that is in him is not upright, And when you even look at these devils now, there was a clip the brother had sent me of Alex Jones on his podcast. He straight had a crazy ass demonic outburst, man. I'm gonna show brothers it. What you say? Alex Jones. Oh. This nigga was screeching like a demon when he got on his podcast after Trump got into office. Well, then he gets mad right. Wait.
Demon. Yeah. Reptilian. Oh, I see this. Oh, you better sound.
Bro, yo, you want to say?
Now I want to say, well, Alex Jones. Remember, this is the same guy. It is a little ways back, but he said when he talked about the food shortages, he the same guy talking about, yo, I'll eat my neighbors. Yeah, I'll eat your ass. You know what I'm saying? Like, he said that.
Huh?
Like, I forget what time. It was something happening. I don't know if it was during the strikes. It was something going on at that time. We talk about I know it was like food shortage. And he said like, I'll eat my neighbors. My kids gonna starve.
I mean, you look. That's just the nature of Esau. Esau's ready to show. He been mad. They even have to hide himself under political correctness, man.
Yep.
That's what Trump gives Esau.
Yep.
Trump gives Esau the ability not to be politically correct anymore. They don't want to have to be so-called nice, cordial, respectful to you, especially you Jakes, man. Especially you Israelites. Matter of fact, you had I got you, bro. You had the mayor of Newark, when the whole shit happened. He said he got an email. He got an email from somebody that said, you can stand by idly if you want to, but you don't want to fuck with the federal government. And he said, if you do, fuck around and find out. This is a regular civilian talking to a mayor, man. But because the mayor's a Jake, and I'm sure that civilian was a Edomite, he's looking at him like, yo, you underneath me, man. All right. You underneath me. You want to say something?
Oh,
no.
Yeah, I don't know if y'all seen it, but in Washington D.C. they had a white supremacy march.
Oh yeah.
And like I guess they just getting bold with it now. Now Trump, now they can show their true horns. You know what I mean? They trying to, you know what I mean? Like you said, they don't want to hide in that political pressure or that being politically right. They want to be out and open with that demonic energy, like that whole like fuck y'all. We the devils that the Bible speak of. Like that's us. Like we ain't hiding no more.
All right. Yeah. I mean, add on the whole thing with the immigrant. That's about the all the immigration stuff, right?
Yeah.
Those not in Newark, but basically that rhetoric with the immigrants, right? So you have a lot of people in this country, aside from the northern tribes, that are here illegally, but they're not talking about them. You have illegal Europeans here. You have illegal so-called Africans here. You have illegal Asians here. You have illegal, but who are they showing are the actual face of the illegal immigrants? Northern tribes, so-called Hispanics. And some southern tribes, because they had the Levite brother. Mm-hmm. But that's the face they're showing as being the illegal immigrants. It's northern tribe. Who? Jake. they don't want as much. They want Jake. They want Jake out of here, man. They want Jake. They want the Jakes not here.
I just put it in the group chat, Shumyard. So it's in there, the video. But yeah, you know, and that's why the scriptures mentions Jacob's trouble, man. Yeah, it's going to be on all of the earth, you know, especially here in Babylon the Great. It's going to be in the Babylon, and you're going to have other people, other nations got to get caught up. But who's the primary target that this is being targeted after, man? It's Israel. And why is it ultimately Israel? It's because of the truth. Jacob's trouble is a reaction that Esau is having to the truth coming out. That's what this is about, man. Because Esau didn't have a problem with niggas just being wild, being dumb, being reckless, killing and shooting each other, right? Being drug dealers, being gang. Esau could have been did something about Chi-Town. He could have been did something about Jake, you know, warring in gangs. But he never did it because he wants Jake to be that way. Because it's a revolving destruction of yourself. But once you start to wake up and remember yourself, when you put away the wicked ways, when you come back to your power, when you start to call upon Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, that's when this devil got a problem, man. That's when he says, "Oh, nah, that's not the nigga I know. That's not the nigga I created. I created the niggas that's gonna be killing each other, not the one that said love your brother." So that's why Esau's coming down with that, because we have to come down with that wrath, man. Want to say something again?
I don't know if you know, in Mississippi, they're trying to pass a bill that like you catch a legal immigrant, whatever, they give you $1,000.
Oh,
Each person you catch, whatever. So now you're gonna have bounty hunters, I guess, and get on this, whatever, and they just gonna be snatching people up, kids, women, old people, whatever. You know what I mean? And that's gonna cause that division and that Jacob trouble. You know what I mean? People fighting and killing one another. You know what I mean? And they're fighting against the law enforcement and everything like that. And then hopefully, the Suntribe don't participate in that. But niggas gonna be niggas, and they gonna be like, well, nah, fuck that. I gotta get my money. I gotta get paid.
Yep.
So I'm you know what I mean? I'm gonna hit up ICE agents, whatever, to pick up such my neighbor, whatever, that live next to me. So it's gonna cause that division and just discourse and everything. Like it's just gonna be chaos.
Yep. And especially when Esau, when this some type of black swan event happens, right, where the market gets crashes, right, when now people are out of jobs, so now they don't have enough money to make ends meet. Well, I can get $1,000 for just snitching on an immigrant. You know that they gonna do that, and then eventually that's when they gonna bring in that UBI. It's all and these things that we're talking about, this is not for a time afar off, man. Look how quickly things are happening right now.
5 days in.
Five, not even a week, not even 7 days in. This nigga was moving with warp speed 2.0, man.
Executive orders out the Lord.
He had the actual federal army using transporting migrants, man, using actual federal aircrafts, man, army aircrafts. So what do you think? What do you think is about to happen? The Lord said He's going to shorten the days for the elect's sake. Go ahead.
Verse 3. For the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come, it will not tarry.
There you go, man. So it said the vision is for an appointed time. The men of the Lord, the prophets, starting with our elders and apostles, been out speaking these words tirelessly, man. Day in and day out, week in and week out, opening the book that Yahweh Shai through the Holy Spirit enlightened us with, the information of the times that you're in right now and how to be saved out of it, where to go for salvation. Because the Lord didn't say, well, if you don't hear it, then I'm not gonna come and do it. No, He says it's going to happen regardless. That's why He told them whether they hear or forbear, they're going to know that a prophet has been among you. And that's why Yahweh Shai said, my sheep hear my voice. But the rest of our people, the majority of you, act as if this is not something. The Lord is not going to do good or evil. This isn't going to happen. I don't want it. I hope it don't happen. Your hope is a vain hope, man.
Romans 3:3. But what if some did not believe? Shall their unbelief make the faith of God without effect? God forbid. Yea, let God be true, but every man a liar, as it is written, that thou mightest be justified in thy sayings and mightest overcome when thou art judged.
Here you go, man. So just because you don't believe, does that mean what the faith of the Lord, the word, is not going to be with effect? Nah, actually, since you get that, get Second Ezra 15, right? Because your unbelief isn't going to stop the word of the Lord. The Lord said his word does not return to him void, man. And we can clearly see his word is actually manifesting right now. They should be like madmen sparing none. I was going. They should be like madmen sparing none. We're taking and spoiling, right? Taking their goods and spoiling, taking them out of their houses. That literally just happened over the weekend. I mean, not over the weekend, over the last couple of days.
It's happening now, probably.
Yeah, it's happening now too. And a lot of these people, right? Remember, he's not just saying, "Oh, the immigrants that just came in yesterday." You got people that have been here for years that established a life that just never got papers yet. They're going to get rounded up too. They got their children in the school systems, right? They've been working at certain places. They may be a supervisor, getting paid on the table at a certain job. Those are the ones they still want to get it also. But remember, these are still Israelites. But Esau's not stopping there. That's just the easiest ones for him to get right now. But as they said yesterday, the mayor of Newark said yesterday, they was rounding up actual citizens got detained as well. A military veteran got detained. So then at what point are you able to differentiate who's a citizen and who isn't? Who isn't? And that's what Trump said in his first, right? That's what he said in his first campaign. He's going to establish the biometric entry-exit visa program. He said he was going to establish that back, it was like 6 years ago, right? Actually, 8 years. No, 6 years ago. No, 8 years ago. Because when he came into presidency,
Well, he was in office
16,
8 years ago.
16 to 20, yeah.
His
So,
first year?
Yeah.
Okay.
That was during his first campaign. So 8 years ago, he said he was going to establish the biometric entry-exit visa program. And what is biometric? Body, bio, and metric, measure. So you're going to be measured based off of your biology. And how are they going to do that? By putting technology, the measuring tool, inside of you. But hey, and once again, man, it's all written. You want to say something?
No, also too, I have to say, because it's not just with the northern tribes too, because what Trump did, another thing he said, I believe it was a couple of days ago, he said they're trying to cut government spending.
Mm-hmm.
And the government spending, with the things that were targeted was SNAPs, Medicare, either Medicare, Medicaid, and two other things they talk about cutting. So that's another northern tribe. That's you southern tribes, and a lot of females are on that. That the single mother, they talk about the whole not the child support thing, but they talk about if you're able-bodied, how you're not gonna be able to be on welfare if you're able-bodied to work, like physically able to work, because you have a lot of people living off the teeth of the government. So that's all the stuff they're cutting. Talk about all that public, all that assistance stuff. That's the stuff that's gonna get cut first.
Yep. Hey, and it's not just Jake that's on that too,
right.
Man. You got Elamites, Edomites, Ishmaelites, Hamites, right? Moabites, they all on that. They all on that shit, man. But who's going to be affected the most? Because a lot of people that is on that, in certain cities or cities, you could have a Moabite on it, but they're like in a better part of the city. The Jake that are on it is all in the ghettos and the hoods, man. So you cut all those things off, you're going to be even in a worse position, a worse predicament. And then when you get into the whole supply chain things, who do you think they're going to cut the supply chain off from first? It's going to be you Israelites, man. Go ahead.
Second Ezra 15.
Take at the top.
Second Ezra 15:1. Behold, speak thou in the ears of my people the words of prophecy, which I will put in thy mouth, saith the Lord.
Yep, because that's what is important. That's what you need to be talking about right now, man. Yeah, we're still going to the laws and telling our people to, you know, say abstain from abstain from certain things, right? Telling our people the milk of things, but we're in a time of prophecy, and really the majority of our people, they know about not eating pork. When you tell a Jake, right, yeah, you know you ain't supposed to be eating pork, so yeah, I know. So we don't gotta sit here and go back and forth and tell you about, oh, you're not supposed to eat pork, you're not supposed to do these things. There's plenty of videos, thousands of videos of that out. But what's important is what's actually going on, happening right now, man. How are you going to the current events? How are you going to be saved from that? How are you going to be delivered from that? And that goes back into the faith, man. The just shall live by his faith. So the Lord says, speak down to the ears of my people the words of prophecy. And a lot of you guys, where we were talking about coming up here, a lot of guys that claim to be men of the Lord, they're not speaking about prophecy, man. They're not talking about the current events, which goes to show you that they don't have the testimony of Yahushua. The testimony of Yahushua is the spirit of prophecy. Prophecy, and it says in Proverbs, where the vision faileth, I think it says the people perish where the vision faileth, man. Where there's no vision, the people, where it says where there's no vision, the people perish. That's why a prophet was always sought after in the times of distress. Even in the time of Maccabees, they talked about how there was no prophet in those days. So that's why you had the Maccabean family was the leaders. During the time of Jeremiah, the Jews, right, during that time of the southern kingdom, they asked Jeremiah, what does the Lord say we should do? Should we stay here or should we go down to Egypt? Jeremiah told him, all right, give me X, Y, and Z times, and I'm gonna go talk to the Lord, and I'm gonna come back. They say, hey, man, hey, the spirit is out, man. Because they northern kingdom, man, they know. In their spirit, they better know. And if they don't know, they about to find out. yeah, definitely.
Right.
But they're gonna seek ultimately to rest, man. Because what they was gonna find rest in America, they thought they was gonna find some type of security and aid in America. Nah, that's gonna be to your confusion. Go ahead. You can get Isaiah 30.
Verse 2, and cause them to be written in paper, for they are faithful and true.
Yep, going back to what the brother read in Romans, right? The faith of God, would it be without effect? God forbid. Let the Most High be true and every man a liar. So the Lord said, write these things because they're faithful and they're true. Meaning what? They're going to happen. You had this guy say, since Donald Trump had the executive order to ban central bank digital currency, there was a guy on the comment board that said, hopefully this quells the mark of the beast. That's how ignorant you are, man. You can't quell prophecy. You can't stop the words of the Lord from happening. You got so-called Christians, right? Steve Ram. You got Christians that actually pray that prophecies don't come. Yeah, end time headline. Pray that, that Donald Trump doesn't, that he, stands up to the deep state. He stands up to the new world order, and that the Antichrist won't be able to gain his power. Well, there is no one individual Antichrist, right? Anti-Messiah. That's the spirit, and that spirit is already in the earth, man. That's why Paul said the mystery of iniquity doeth already work. The spirit of the Antichrist was out during the time of the apostles. That's why they mentioned it. But now you got it even at a heightened level because they have their technology. Now they're trying to open portals. Now they're trying to go into the realm, right? Using the left hand means to try to gain demonic power to actually operate on the earth, man. That's what they're doing. It's funny because I rewatched Doctor Strange, the multiverse, last week, and there's a scene where they go. He's in another multiverse. He's in another universe, and he goes into the he goes and meets the Avengers, right? Which you had what's that guy's name? Fuck.
Captain America.
Yeah, but it was a Captain America was a woman though. It was a woman, and then you had another one that was a black woman, and then you had the guy from Fantastic Four, the doctor, the long nigga. What was the one that had the he was able to stretch? Yeah,
Doctor Stretch or something?
I don't know. His name was Dr. Stretch, but anyway, he was there, and it was like, yo, well, who are you guys? Oh, Professor X. He was the main. He was like the I guess the main guy because it was like a whole board of all of them, and it was like, oh, this is you guys the Avengers, and he was like, no, we're the Illuminati. So it was like, oh, well, the Illuminati what? Mr. Fantastic. There you go. Mr. Fantastic. He was like, what are you? He's like, this is the Avengers. He's like, no, we're the Illuminati. And then what they had was actual robots that with science and technology, they was able to create robots that were basically far, highly intelligent. AI. Exactly. They was able to use AI to help them out, working with them side by side. And that's when you look at what the Illuminati, the deep state, what they're doing now, what Esau's doing now. He's using science and witchcraft and technology to rule this earth. That's all he's doing. It's witchcraft. What? I'm saying it's witchcraft and technology. That's exactly what he's setting up on the earth right now, man. Because when you read in Isaiah the 47th chapter, it says, stand now without enchantments. And in that movie, it was a deep movie. In that movie, what Doctor Strange, who he was trying to save, was America. That was the little girl's name. Her name was America. And when you watch the movie, man, there's a lot of subliminals in it. Because Doctor Strange, obviously, he's a magician, aka he's a witch, and he was doing a lot of witchcraft and devilish symbols. Actually, the main poster is him throwing up the devil horns. And when he was basically doing all this witchcraft, he was trying to save America from being killed because I forgot her name, the witch of damn, I can't remember her name, but basically she wanted America's powers, the little girl's powers, to be able to alter to travel a different universe. But regardless of all that, ultimately what this devil is doing is setting up a society to where you got to be reliant on his technology, man. Right. You got to be reliant on his technology, which once again he is coupling that with witchcraft, with left-handed spirits, man. That's why it says who is coming is after the working of Satan. Then shall the wicked be revealed. Who's coming is after the working of Satan.
Verse 3. 2 Ezra 15:3. Fear not the imaginations against thee. Let not incredulity of them trouble thee that speak against thee.
Yep. So don't let the unbelief of them trouble you, man. We don't. Hey, and the beautiful thing about it is, as we always say, we'll just wait and see. That's the beautiful thing about prophecy. Time tells. Time is going to tell who was right. And I'm about to say, and it's already telling. Everything that we've said ultimately is what the Lord said. And the Lord said, these words are faithful and true, and they will be brought to pass. And now you're seeing them being brought to pass. So then the Lord said, when it comes to pass, you're going to know that there's been a prophet among you. Only thing a prophet is what? A person that is inspired to say events, speak things that are going to happen before they happen. And that power only comes from the Lord. That's a divine power. So when we said that, this devil's going to start rounding people up, taking them in, throwing them into detention centers, right? Keeping you there because they had that one plane that went to Mexico, but Mexico told them, nah, you can't land here. So where'd that plane go? They had to come back here, right? So if it came back here, where do people go? They didn't just let everybody out. and say, just go back to your houses and we're going to come pick you up again later. No, they put them into detention camps. You might not hear about them again until Trump comes out with that biometric entry-exit visa program. When you start to see them come back out, those people that got rounded up, we want to stay in here. Hey, how you get to stay in here? Oh, yeah, but they just told us that we just had to put this little thing in us so that they can just track us, and then through that we're gonna be able to get our citizenship. That's it. And remember, a lot of these refugees from these other nations, a lot of them, like how the mayor from Newark was saying, a lot of the people that came here aren't rapists, they aren't murderers, they aren't criminals. They're actually fleeing from that type of behavior. They're fleeing from a murder. So they're coming here to try to gain some type of safe haven. So if Trump tells them, well, you can stay here and be in safety, all you got to do is put this thing in you so we can just track you and make sure everything is going good. They definitely gonna do that.
Got something for the scripture you just read. Can you read the last part of it?
Hear not the imaginations against thee. Let not the incredulity of them trouble thee that speak against thee.
So this is BBC News. Trump decries climate prophets of doom with Thunberg in audience. U.S. president, because this was his first presidency, Donald Trump has decried climate prophets of doom in a speech at the World Economic Forum in Davos, where sustainability is the main theme. He called, check this out, he called for a rejection of predictions of the apocalypse. Now, isn't this Republican? Aren't they supposed to be by the book, by the Bible? I'm gonna read it again. He called for a rejection of the predictions of the apocalypse and said America would defend its economy. But doesn't the Bible predict the apocalypse? So you saying reject the Bible? Mr. Trump did not directly name the teenage climate activist Greta Thunberg, who was in the audience. Later, she excoriated political leaders, saying the world, in case you haven't noticed, is currently on fire.
Yep. Hey, and talking about rejection, when he got sworn into presidency, he didn't put his hand on the Bible. Remember, during his presidency, he was selling Bibles. You could buy a Trump Bible. What happened to that? What happened to him when he was taking pictures with the Bible when his last presidency, behind the church? But as soon as it was down to get to the get down, I ain't touching that, because as it says in Psalms, you cast his instructions behind him. He hated the instructions. See? And they're about to come out. These so-called Bible believing Christian Edomites, they're about to show you how much they don't care. That's not what they care about. Because if they did, doesn't your Bible tell you to love the stranger? Right? Doesn't it say to love your neighbor? Doesn't it say to be kind? That's what you teach in your churches, right? Everybody was created equal. But hey, they said that the whole thing that the ICE was doing was unconstitutional. Ending birthright citizenship is unconstitutional. But didn't the MAGA patriots say that they wanted to uphold the Constitution? But when you go into the Constitution, when it was written, they didn't have you niggas in mind, man. They didn't have you so-called Latinos in mind when they said that, when Thomas Jefferson said God created all mankind human. All mankind equal. Remember, during that time, you niggas was 3/5 of a human being. So you wasn't even in the thinking of being equal. You wasn't even fully human to the so-called founding fathers of America.
Look, in the same event, he said this: we're committed to conserving the majesty of God's creation and the natural beauty of our world. Because this was when he was promising to plant, 3 billion trees? No, 1 trillion trees. So on one hand, you're rejecting the Bible, but then on the other hand, you want to conserve the majesty of God's creation. Which one is it?
Exactly. But now he's all about the technology. That's the God right there. Now he's all about establishing supremacy through technology, man. Because that's going to be the way that he gets on that level of trying to be like the Most High. You get Ezekiel 28 and start at 2. I got it. Because that's the complex that he's always had. Going all the way back. Why was the serpent envious of Adam? Because the Most High gave Adam dominion over the earth. The Most High made Adam a god on the earth, man. The serpent wanted that. The blessing that Isaac gave unto Jacob was a blessing that came directly from the Heavenly Father. That was passed down as a promise to Abraham, a family heirloom. Esau said he rejected the blessing. He thought of it as nothing. So he sold it for uncooked lentils, right? Uncooked lentils, and then went and tried to still get the blessing on top of it. But remember, we were talking about it before. Jacob made Esau swear. He said, "Swear to me this day." And who did he swear in the name of? He swore in the name of the God of Isaac, the God of his father. So you swore on the name of the Lord that you don't want the blessing, that the blessing was Jacob. But ever since then, it said what? He despised his birthright. But now that it's time for that, because the Lord's fair. He still gave you a kingdom. He gave you the fatness of the earth. He didn't give no other heathen the dominion of the whole entire earth except you. And what you do with it. He said what? That let favor be shown unto the wicked. Let favor be shown unto the wicked, yet he will not learn righteousness. He will not learn righteousness. The Lord gave you favor to learn righteousness, and you still didn't learn it. So when it's time for the kingdom of righteousness to come on the earth, and the time of the righteous people to come into their knowledge, into their inheritance, now you got a problem. Now you want to destroy. It said that the dragon was wroth with the woman and went to go make war with the remnant of her seed, the ones that kept the commandments of the Most High and had the testimony of Yahweh, the saints. That's who he's ultimately is going to come after. But it starts with all of Israel, the wicked of Israel, these migrants. But eventually he's trying to come to what? To desecrate the temple. That's what his main goal is to get to. I gotta get to the ones that believe on that name. I gotta put my covenant, my mark in them. But the Lord has already written that they got the victory over the beast and over his image. Why? Because of the faith that they have. Go ahead, Ezekiel.
I got it. Ezekiel 28:2. Son of man, say unto the prince of Tyrus, thus saith the Lord Most High, because thine heart is lifted up, and thou hast said, I am a God, I sit in the seat of God, in the midst of the seas, yet thou art a man and not God.
Yep, because although this is speaking about the prince during that time of Tyrus, right? He was boastful, right? He had a mind that because he had all of the riches back then and that type of wisdom back then, he had a boastful mind. But how much more now of Esau Edom, man? Remember, Esau got the fatness of the earth. He's searching out things that the ancient kings could never have done through, once again, his technology. Remember, the serpent was more subtle beast than all of the beasts of the field. And you go into that word subtle, it means crude, right? Prudent in wickedness. Isaiah the 47th chapter, it says your wisdom and your knowledge has perverted you. I believe it says that also in Ezekiel as well. Your wisdom and your knowledge has perverted you. Esau has knowledge and wisdom on the left-hand side. That's why he calls himself the higher law, right? The enlightened ones. That's why they can tell you about your molecular structure, your white blood cells and your red blood cells. They can go micro, they can go macro. They trying to go into quantum physics. That's what the whole CERN thing is all about. They're trying to open wormholes, portals. They're trying to literally go into the fourth dimension or to the spirit world. They're trying to take their technology that they made in the physical world and break through into the spiritual world, man. That's what this devil is doing. Hey, and the Lord might allow the devil to go into there, but guess what's going to come out? All of these demons. That's what's going to come out. A bunch of demons about to come out and be running rampant all on this earth, man. You about to see, that's why the scripture says, you going to see people fighting, violence is going to be at an all-time high, right? Murder is going to have fires, teeth of wild beasts. You let a demon jump on a lion, man. Remember what the Lord had when he cast out those demons into those pigs? They ran wild and jumped off the cliff. Imagine you got demons hopping on just a pack of lions. And in Bronx Zoo, are those gorillas they got there. They got in I don't know if it's still there, but in Camden, they had a whole hippopotamus, man. And a tank. Inside of a building. A hippo. But that just goes to show you how much of a demon this devil is. You want to put a hippo inside of a tank of a building, man. Oh, bears.
Shit, even some small as a rat. So imagine a rat getting demons on. It's millions and millions of rats. So imagine rats attacking. It can happen.
Love rat.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep. Yeah. But hey, that's the workings of Satan, man. Everything is going to backfire on you. That's why the scripture says the trap that you laid, right, that you try to lay, you're going to fall into.
Yeah, right.
You try to lay a pit, and you're going to fall into that pit, man.
Talking about the dog, I was gonna say this pit bull just killed his owner not too long ago, a 77-year-old Jake woman, like a couple weeks ago.
Yep. Those are those spirits that created for vengeance. Go ahead.
And also you got to bear in mind, for these animals to go up against human beings, you got to remember these animals actually fear human beings. So there's got to be a hell of a spirit for an animal that's afraid of you to attack you.
No. Yep.
You want me to read?
Yeah, you can go ahead.
All right. It says, "Yet thou art a man and not God, though thou set thine heart as the heart of God."
Yep. So you set your heart as your mind as the heart the mind of God. Isaiah 14, it said what? I should go into the height of the stars. I shall be like the Most High. Trump said that they're gonna put a flag on Mars. Elon saying that his goal is to expand the conscience of humanity. So if you're trying to expand it says to go beyond your natural state. So what is that? What is he actually saying? He's saying that he's trying to take your spirit and be able to have power over that outside of your physical body. I said he set his heart as the heart of God. When you watch movies like Upload, or that's not a movie, it's a TV show. Upload. There's a movie called Upgrade. There's a TV show called Upload on Amazon, where basically when you die, they take your conscience and they upload it to a simulation on a computer, and you basically are living forever now, right? Because you can't die because you're in this simulation, but you're basically living forever in this simulation, and it's like paradise. Everybody's happy there. You got every amenity you want, but based off of how you were in the real world, if you have money in the real world, then you have better amenities in this virtual reality. If you didn't have that much money in the real world, then you won't be able to afford the amenities in reality in this virtual reality. Yep, that's exactly what it is. Remember, art imitates life. Why do you think they got the metaverse now? They got this virtual reality life now. You can read.
Tesla CEO Elon Musk, who has an abysmal track record for making predictions, is predicting that we will achieve artificial general intelligence, AGI, by 2026. If you define AGI as smarter than the smartest human, I think it's probably next year, within 2 years. He told Norway Wealth Fund CEO Nikolai Tangen during an interview this week, as quoted by Reuters.
See? So that's next year. So things are moving quick, man. Why do you think Trump just signed that executive order, $500 billion for AI databases all throughout America, man? He said, what? We're gonna need the energy. We're gonna need the energy so that we can forward the AI, so we can be at the forefront of AI. We need the energy.
Double the energy they use now.
Double the energy that they use now. So all of these databases is going to be geared towards what? And they pushing now. Yeah, this is going to be, creating jobs. We're going to create 1,000 jobs just off of this, 10,000 jobs just off of that. But what are you really working for? Like, what are you really actually building? Because they're saying that AI is going to replace all humanity with all of the regular jobs. 80%. So what do you think your life is going to look like once if they're able to actually get this enterprise up and running?
If I may, you take a page out of the Terminator series, but especially like the first three, Elon Musk and what Trump is doing is basically what Skynet was doing. That's exactly what they were doing. Machines taking over. The third one was called Rise of the Machines. That's what Sarah Connor was. That's what the second Judgment Day, the second Turner was sent to save John Connor because he was the one that would go lead the resistance against the machines. But who created the machines? That's who the Jake was. The Jake. That's why the Jake in Terminator 2. That's why they were set to kill him because he was the one. But he didn't know he was going to do it because they went in the future. I mean, they went in the past to go get him, and he was going to you're going to come and you're going to motherfucking do this shit. But he was just a brain. But they actually built these machines to take over. That's what Elon Musk and Trump. That's what all these technology dudes are doing.
Yep. And that's why they're pushing toward the whole BCI, right? Brain computer interfaces. They're pushing toward the symbiosis of man linking with a machine because they're saying that if you don't get down, if you don't integrate with the technology, then you're going to be left behind. You're not going to be able to keep up with the AI. So we gotta upgrade the human brain so that you'll be able to stay on the same, but stay above the AI mechanisms. Good.
For you to be economically viable, you're going to have to be able to. You're going to have to take the C-HIP. For you to be able, because AI is going to take your jobs. AI can do what teachers do. AI can do what
Doctors do.
all these thinking jobs. AI can do it. They don't need you to do it. So when people that have doctorates are out of work, how are they going to be able to keep up? They're going to have to merge with technology. They literally, not us with having smartwatches and smartphones. No, human beings are going to have technology implanted in them.
Yep. To upgrade them.
Not bad. No.
That's why they call it augmented. That word augmented means to upgrade. Right? And that's why the C-HIP, why do you think the one that gets put for to upgrade your body, as they're doing now, right, with the Neuralink, and other companies are doing it too, right? But they're putting it into your brain because your brain is the Lord's data, is the Lord's mainframe, data center. It's the mainframe. That's where anything you do, your brain thinks of it first. Me moving my hand, my brain already made send the electrons, right? the electricity, the signal to do that. In order to talk, your brain signal, and it's all happening at a very, very fast rate. What they're saying is that AI does that even faster. But we have technology that we can put the technology that AI does it, we can have it hijack your brain, and it'll be your brain, but now it's moving at a faster rate because of the assistance of the AI. So if you want to learn a language, yeah, your brain can learn a language at a rate of maybe 6 months, X, Y, and Z. But if you get this C-hip in you, we can have that instantly downloaded into your brain. And the parts of your brain that are able to learn gets upgraded, enhanced. Yep, it's an unnatural occurrence. But Esau calls it a miracle. And that's why the Lord said, well, then if you can upgrade my brain to be able to learn things quicker, and with any computer software, you can always do what? Your phone does it all the time. It upgrades. And when you upgrade your phone, it adds other things onto the phone. You get new emojis, a different, you can unsend. All that is happening through an upgrade software database. So if they put this, right now you got these people with this Neuralink in them, and now all it is doing is helping them move their head, their legs. They're able to type by looking at, thinking of the words. What happens when they upgrade the software? Yeah, they got 3 people with it. What happens when they upgrade the software? Now it can tell you what to think. It's not just you thinking, it's telling you what to think. It's like how you said, who gives you a thought? He thought, I did. He said his heart has the heart of the Most High. And what thoughts do you think they're going to give you? You think they're going to give you, think of the Lord? Pray to have faith in the Lord? They ain't going to get, that's not the thoughts they're going to be putting into your mind. They're going to have you what? Worshiping the beast. Getting down with the freakism that's out here. Getting down with the ways of this society. That's why the Lord said if he didn't come back, there'll be no flesh saved. Because then that would be a regular thing. Everybody that gets born, you want to operate, you want to go to the hospital to have children. Oh yeah. Well, we need your information. We need to identify you. Oh yeah, I got my documents. Now we don't take that anymore. We do the digital identification. That's the only way we can enroll you into the hospital. Admit you into the hospital. See? But then when they get smart cars, that won't be a problem.
Unmanned driver.
Got it. Can we read the day? Go ahead.
This is backing up the point that Elder was making. Researchers use mind-reading AI to put people's thoughts on TV. Why this matters in brief. Being able to read people's minds and visualize what they're thinking and their memories on a screen will revolutionize almost every part of society. And that's before we start talking about telepathy and futuristic brain downloading. Brain downloading.
This is not sci-fi, man. We're not talking about a TV or a movie show. This is what these devils are actually planning and trying to do. But then you got Jake talking about, oh, we can save Esau. Look at this nigga, man. Look at what he's Look at what he's doing. Yo, you imagine him giving him the technology of the spirit? The kingdom would be destroyed. This devil is said once again, he will not learn righteousness. He was not going to learn it. But you want to save him. You want to have him have the ability to be a God from the power of the Lord. That's what you want. When he was over here trying to read your thoughts.
That was good too.
Yo, bring it out.
It already seems a little like computers can read our minds. Features like Google's autocomplete, Facebook's friend suggestions,
algorithms,
and targeted ads that appear while you're browsing the web sometimes make you wonder how they knew. And for better or worse, it seems we're slowly but surely moving in the direction of computers reading our minds For real.
So when you even think about your phone, right? Your phone knows you. Your phone knows you. Yo, no lie, bro. Now I don't know if it's a coincidence or not, but I was listening. I was at the gym, and I had my headphones on. And I was listening to music, and I'm like, yo, damn, I want to hear this song next.
Oh yeah.
I didn't even say the song name, and my phone it played the song. I'm like, yo, get the fuck out! I turned my look at my shit. We always say it all the time. We be talking about something, and then the ad pops up for it. So if they got that technology now, if they have algorithms, that's AI, that's artificial intelligence doing that. If they have that, happen to be able to do that through your phone, that technology of that Apple H does it on an A15 chip that's in these new phones, that is the same technology that they're trying to put into the actual micro CHIP. So instead of it going into your phone, it's going to go into your body. You say you have more?
There's a little more, yeah.
Yep.
Past experiments and results have included, among others, University of California, Berkeley's ability to stream movies from people's brains, Texas Tech University to pull secrets from people's brains, and of course, not to be left out, the University of Wisconsin experiment to stream people's dreams while they were in REM sleep with an 84% accuracy rate. And notice I haven't mentioned anything about our ability to communicate telepathically or upload knowledge to our brains. Something I've written about in other articles. Neuroscience is getting interesting.
Neuroscience, man. These nanobots. Right. Yeah, Bill Gates is known for what? Microsoft. Micro meaning small. Software is what? Technology. Small technology. Why do you think he was so invested in putting those things in people? Right? So we're just taking them, we're just shooting them right into people's arms. But that technology, you can't even. Why don't they allow you to speak about that technology freely on these platforms, man? Why do your channel get banned? You get shadow banned when you speak about certain things, certain acronyms that you're not allowed to say. Because it is a conspiracy, but it's not a theory. It's a fact. It's society. It's what is happening in the world. The World Economic Forum, Klaus Schwab said it, man. That we're transitioning from wearable technology to embedded technology. Everybody says all these high up society people say within the next, well, they were saying this 10 years ago, within the next 10 years, majority of the world will be having some type of implantable device in them. What the scriptures prophesied, what John the Revelator saw thousands of years ago, man, which the Lord linked to the end of this age. He showed John, this is why I'm going to come and deliver. This is what society is going to look like. This is why I'm going to destroy this beast. Look at it. Look at what he's doing. So you got a precept?
Yep.
Precept.
So this book of 2 Thessalonians chapter 2, verse 4, and it reads, who opposes and exalteth himself above all that is called God, or that is worship, so that he as God sitteth in the temple of God, showing himself that he is a God. So like Esau, no.
It says he opposes and exalteth himself above all that is called God. What is called God? Nature. Oh, give me Romans 1. Because the Lord created nature, man. The scripture says the Lord is invisible. So how do you know the Lord is? By the visible things. Esau didn't create the sky. He didn't create trees. He didn't create human beings. We're all called creations, right? And if you have a creation, then you have to have what? A creator. Who is the creator of life? That is what is called the Most High. When you see life, and it says that in Wisdom of Solomon, when you see the operations and things of life, You're supposed to praise the creator of those things. But you got the heathens, they actually praise the sun. Right? Muslims, they got the crescent moon. So they worship the moon god. You had ancient Egypt, they had the man, the pharaoh with the falcon head that worship it, and the Dagon, the fish god. So heathens, they created creation, they worship creations. The Lord imparted us the wisdom to have the knowledge of the creator. Romans 1:25. Go up a little bit.
I was gonna read to verse 7.
Yeah, you got it.
So this is verse 5 of 2 Thessalonians chapter 2. It says, "Remember ye not that when I was yet with you, I told you these things." And verse 6 says, "Now ye know that withholdeth that he might be revealed in his time," which was the time, brother. Talking about this, the time now. The time we're in now being revealed, the son of perdition, is now. In verse 7 it says, and this is the point. It says, "For the midst," because you made a point, brother, about the if they want to save Jake want to save Esau, but look what he's doing. Like look all the stuff he's doing with the technology, how he's trying to implant humans with technology and electricity, and how he's trying to do all this bullshit. And that's what, and this, to your point, verse 7 of 2 Thessalonians chapter 2. He says, "For the mystery of iniquity doth already work. Only he who now letteth will let until he be taken out the way." So he will only get worse. He will only continue to do all this. What you say he's doing? Trying to what? Brain? What you said? The brain? Watch movies from the brain? Yeah, like what? Come on. That's it though.
Yep. And they said the mystery of iniquity doeth already work. What was Paul talking about? That was the ancient Roman Empire back then. But see, Esau, he didn't have what he had now than what he had back then. That's why when he came back out of that 1,000-year period, right, what he called the Dark Ages, right, when his devilish ass wasn't able out to deceive the nations, when he came out of that state, what did he call it? The rebirth, the Renaissance period. And what did he start to implement back on the earth? What culture? The culture of the Roman Empire. That's what started. That's what he came back with. He didn't come back with nothing new, because as it was written, right, in Daniel the 7th chapter, brother can get that. That fourth beast, there was a little horn that came out of that fourth beast, and that's what you're living in right now. Daniel 7 and 8.
Daniel 7 verse 8. "I considered the horns, and behold, there came up among them another little horn, before whom there were 3 of the first horns, plucked up by the roots."
Yep, because that was during the time of that little horn got established by mainly 3 different wars. Right, America was established through the Spanish War, American Spanish War, the French. American French War, and then the American Revolutionary War, which was with Britain. So they had they plucked up France, Britain, and the Spaniards. That's why you have over in the Western world, you got certain countries that are mainly speaks French. You got certain countries that speak Spanish, and you got certain countries that speaks English. Yeah, in Louisiana, yep, like I said, the Louisiana Purchase. Right, I believe that was with the French. Yep, that's what I was saying. Louisiana was named after King Louis, which was a French king. So, in order for the 13 colonies, right, in order for them to establish their independence, they had to pluck up the other Edomites that was over here. Because Esau's kingdom started his kingdom with division, fighting amongst each other. That's how this devil gets down. Go ahead.
"And behold, in his horn were eyes like the eyes of man, and mouth speaking great things."
Yep, eyes of a man, because as it says in Ezekiel, we read that he's a man and not a god. So he has an eyes of a man, meaning he's still a carnal individual, but his mouth was speaking great things. He was speaking things as if he was not a man. And that's what this devil does. But once again, what Elon was saying, that he wants to take the consciousness of humanity. They want to intergalactic travel. Space-time travel. That's what they're boasting in. Right? They're saying that we can make food, we can make fish or chicken from chemicals and make it taste like chicken. You won't tell the difference. Isn't that what they was doing basically in the Matrix when he was eating that fake steak? That was just it was a simulation, but that's exactly what Esau is doing now. He's simulating the taste of real products. And he does that by what? Tricking your senses. He's tricking your carnal senses into thinking that that tastes like food. It tastes like chicken. Oh yeah. The beyond meat. It tastes just like pork, but it's made out of lentils and chickpeas. Lab grown food. That's what they call it, right? Lab grown food. So they're boasting great things, man. Well, what comes next? So when Daniel had this vision, he said he saw 4 beasts, which represented the 4 empires that Israel mainly were going to be in captive in. The Neo-Babylonian Empire, the Persian, the Medes, the Greeks, and then the Romans. But out of the Roman came a small horn, a little horn. Just like in Revelation, the 17th chapter, it talks about the 7th, right? And then the 8th is of the 7th. It's the same thing. The visions that the prophet saw were all the same things. It's just different ways they saw them. Go ahead.
Verse 9, I beheld till the thrones were cast down, and the Ancient of Days did sit, whose garment was white as snow, and the hair of his head like the pure wool. His throne was like the fiery flame, and his wheels as burning fire.
So Daniel saw the Lord, the Heavenly Father, on his throne on a chariot. But he said, what? I beheld. So I kept looking until those thrones were cast down. This is what life is about, man. What do you think Yahweh Shai, when he comes, he says what? That the kingdoms of this world has now become the kingdoms of our God. He's taking down the heathenistic rulership. Because look at what the heathen is doing with his rulership, man. Remember, Ezra said that the earth was created for our sake. The earth was not created for us just to be walking up and down the street, working Monday through Friday. Oh, TGIF. Oh, let you go. What you got going on today? Nah, I'm tired. I'm not to be. Oh, no, I'm trying to go, get some drink. Yeah, I'll be work. This is what Jake wanted to do. Every day, just the same bullshit, man. You in the same wheel out, y'all. I'm just trying to get this money, man. I'm trying to get this crib. Yeah, I'm getting an apartment. Niggas ain't talking about buying houses no more. They just getting apartments now. You can't afford a house. But this devil said that. You own nothing and be happy. And Jake is already in that mindset. They own nothing and they're happy with it.
And it's to the point now where a lot of people aren't using their weekends to have fun. They're using your weekends to do things you couldn't do during the week.
Yep, running your errands. You don't even own your damn cell phone no more. Every 2 years, you got to trade it in and upgrade it. What happened? Yeah, you're leasing it. You leasing your cell phone. You leasing your car. You leasing the house you live in. And with the digital currency, you're not even gonna owe money no more because it's gonna be programmable. So now they can actually put an expiration date on your money. You gotta use it by this time or it's gonna expire. They got certain programs now that you can lease certain Express, I think, either Express or H&M, where you can actually rent clothes now from these companies. Yep, you can rent clothes. And you can have a subscription because everything's subscription based. When everything's subscription based, you don't own anything, you're just paying it monthly. Yeah, Apple Music, YouTube. And with YouTube now, they're trying to get you, in order to get certain better features, you gotta give them your ID. You wanna stream, go live 20 times a day? Oh yeah, we just need your identification, one-time upload, and then we'll allow you to do that.
Share videos.
Share videos, like the brother said. The Spanish prime minister at the Davos meeting this week said that all social media platforms needs to be linked to the Euro digital identification system, so there be no more anonymity on social media. Oh yeah, the blue, yeah, they want everybody verifiable. Everybody got to be verifiable through your digital ID, man. If you want to upload, if you want to use Twitter, you want to use YouTube, we got to know who you are. You can't hide behind your channel, your handler name anymore. So guess what's going to happen when they push that out? You think the prophets and men of the Lord will be like, oh, let me give them my digital ID? Nah, it's over at that point. Brothers ain't going to be uploading videos on YouTube.
That's the song. That's the song. And also, there's an old ass movie from like 1995 with what's her name? Sandra Bullock. Exactly.
Great movie.
Great movie. And honestly, it's what's going on now. It's exactly what's happening today. Was it?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we watched it. I just don't remember watching it. But yeah. So it says there that he beheld to the thrones were cast down, right? Because those thrones, the fourth beast, which the little horn came out of, which you see once again, America is modeled after ancient Roman Empire, and you had Elon Musk change his name to Kikius Maximus. When you hear words, names like that, where does that go back to? The Greco-Roman culture, Greco-Roman Empire. Marcellus, that's what it's done. And then they said they asked Elon Musk, how often do you think about Rome? He said every day. And then he did that little symbol, which they were saying that wasn't the Nazi symbol, it was a Roman salute. Well, either way, what is that going back to? What are they showing you right now? Through the spirit, we said that what? Trump is Nero and the reincarnated. So the Lord got everything out. If the Lord got the prophets, the men of the Lord out back then, right? The prophets are now on the scene now, where the Lord was telling the disciples, right? Matthew 24 is a conversation that the Lord was having with the disciples. Well, why did the Lord tell the disciples what to look for in the last days if they weren't going to be there? The Lord told Ezra, right? Ezra said, behold, woe is me, who shall deliver me in those days? He told Daniel, you shall stand in your lot at the last end. You all were going to be back during this time. That's why in Revelation 18 chapter, it said what? Rejoice over her, ye apostles. And you actually get that? Revelation 18 and 20?
That's something. I did want to get this for you, for what you're saying now.
Yep.
1 Corinthians 14 and 32. And the spirits of the prophets are subject to the prophets.
Yep. It always goes back to the prophets, man. The spirit of prophecy is under the prophet's domain, man. Because that's who the Lord set up from the foundation of the earth. We didn't call ourselves we didn't wake up to, I'm going to be a prophet. The Lord put the spirit on the prophets to do that, man. Because of the ones that heap themselves to be prophets, look what they're doing now. They crashing out. They selling Passover tickets. They moving away from the name of the Lord. They calling on different gods. They're not speaking about prophecy. The Lord said he don't change. So why are you changing up the doctrine? If you came into the truth and saying there was a truth when you was in the truth, then now you're saying, no, that's not the truth. Now this is the truth. Then you double-minded, man. You all over the place. The Lord never came and said, this is the truth. And then this was actual truth. I said I had the Holy Spirit back then, but now I really got the Holy Spirit right now. You looking crazy right now, man. But the true men of the Lord, the true prophets of the Lord, they were steadfast. They kept the same word, because the word came from the beginning. But get that what I called for? Yeah.
Revelation 18, verse 20. Rejoice over her, thou heaven, and ye holy apostles and prophets, for God hath avenged you on her.
Yep. So this is the destruction of Babylon the Great. So you got people out saying, no, there's no more prophets out. Well, then why is God avenging Babylon the Great for the prophet's sake, for the apostles' sake. In the last kingdom, if you have prophets in Babylon, and Neo-Babylonian Empire, you have prophets during the Persian and the Medes, right? During the Greek Empire, you didn't have any actual writings of prophets, but you have the men that were the Maccabees, right? During the Roman Empire, you had the disciples, you had Yahweh Shai on the scene. But during this final beast, where you need the word of the Lord the most, where you need faith in hearing of the word of the Lord, where we going to need a divine intervention to deliver us, you saying ain't gonna be no prophets during this time? This is the last time when the Lord's gonna come back. You ain't gonna have nobody coming out here proclaiming the return of the Messiah. The Lord said, I will be with you always, even until the end of the world. We're at the end of the world. It's not adding up, man. But I want to go back to Daniel. So the Lord said in Revelation, what? That he avenged us. He avenged Babylon the Great for the prophets, man. For the apostles, for the saints. So that's two different types of spirits that's on this earth right now. These so-called Christians, they're not looking for America, Babylon the Great, to be destroyed. They're looking for this place to come back, be made great again. So that's you're clearly not in the spirit of the Father. The Holy Spirit's clearly not dealing with you if you praying for America, because that goes against the program. America's not going to be a country when the Lord comes back. You're not going to be like, oh, you got the Israelites over there, but yeah, I want to go take a vacation to America. There ain't gonna be no man. It's gonna be a desert.
Daniel 7 and 10. A fiery stream issued and came forth from before him. Thousands ministered unto him. 10,000 times, 10,000 stood before him.
Yep, that's the angels, man. The innumerable multitude of hosts of heavens. Go ahead.
The judgment was set, and the books were opened. I beheld then, because of the voice of the great words which the horn spake. I beheld even till the beast was slain, and his body destroyed, and given to the burning flame.
What beast is that? The beast from the little horn, from where the little horn came from. Rome basically brought back again the deadly wound being healed. It's not talking about a literal beast. So now you got to ask yourself, well, then how is if this is a country or empire, how is it going to be burnt? It said their body was given to the flames. Where is that flame coming from? Well, that's when you go into what? The third world, the World War III, the nuclear fire that's going to destroy this place, and also the fire that Yahweh Shai is coming with. I think it's a hot chocolate. I take a hot chocolate. Yeah. What? That's run that back.
I beheld then, because of the voice of the great words which the horn spake. I beheld even to the beast was slain.
Yep, Salakia. It said, I beheld until the great, I beheld, my bad, I'll lose my train of thought. Run that part again about with the horn spake.
I beheld then, because of the voice of the great words which the horn spake.
There you go. Because of the great words that the horn spake, as we were just talking about. The whole system being changed into the technocracy, right? Esau being a techno god. Esau saying that humanity, right, is going to change. The fourth industrial revolution. That's what you're looking at right now. That's what these devils, Trump, and all of his tech elites, that's what they're pushing toward. Go ahead.
I beheld even till the beast was slain, and his body destroyed and given to the burning fire. As concerning the rest of the beasts, they had their dominion taken away, yet their lives were prolonged for a season and time.
Yep. Because these other nations, they're not gonna have any dominion. Ain't gonna be no United Nations. You're not gonna have any other prime ministers. no foreign ministers, no presidencies. They're all going to be subjected unto the throne of David, man, unto Yahushua and the elect. You're not going to get your own dominion. You're not going to have any Davos meetings. You're not going to go and say, my sovereign country, Portugal or Spain or whatever. That's through. When Yahushua returns, everybody becomes subjected until the kingdom of heaven. That's it. There's a little bit more. Actually, it is more.
Verse 13, I saw the night visions, and behold, one like the Son of Man came with the clouds of heaven, and came to the Ancient of Days, and they brought him near before him. And there was given him dominion and glory and a kingdom that all people, nations, and languages should serve him.
See, that's why their dominion is going to be taken away from them. But he said their lives will be prolonged because who do you think is going to be the people that is going to be serving him? It says what? That all nations and the tongues and kindreds are going to serve him. So yeah, there are going to be people still left on the earth after Babylon the Great is destroyed. They're going to be the servants. They're not going to have a place in the kingdom. Oh, sorry, sitting down with Yahushua. Oh, good to see you.
Right.
Yeah. Nah, they're going to be. He's going to put them into captivity, man. Psalms the 2nd chapter. The heathen for thy possession. But not only just Yahushua, because he gave that that glory, right? He gave that reward also to who? His elect from the nation of Israel. So when the Lord comes to establish the kingdom of heaven, he's going to have joint heirs ruling with him, his kinsmen, right? The 144,000 starting that are going to be ruling the earth alongside with Yahushua. And that entails these other nations being subjected to us as well. It's not hard to understand, man. Go ahead.
His dominion is an everlasting dominion, which shall not pass away, and his kingdom that which shall not be destroyed.
Yep, there you go. Because once the Lord establishes his kingdom on the earth, once the kingdom of Israel is established, there is no end to that kingdom. Isaiah the 45th chapter tells you that, right? But Israel shall be saved with an everlasting salvation. They shall never be ashamed or confounded, world without end. It's an age that does not end. But why? Because it's established off of the laws of the Lord, man. It's established off of righteousness. We're going to have the righteous laws within our inward parts. And that's how the earth was created for us to rule in the first place. Why would not the sons of God, Yasharallah, the sons of the living God, why would they not be the ones that rule the things that are on the earth? Why would there be any other nation? If you're not a son of God, why would you have a part in rulership in that kingdom? There's no other nation on the earth with that name, the sons of God. You got Ishmael. That don't mean the son of God. You got Edom. That don't mean the son of Moab. They all their names got meanings, but none of their names mean sons of God. And remember, Jacob got his name changed to that because it was already written from before that was the seed passed down from Abraham through to Isaac, through to Jacob, that it was through that seed he was going to confirm, he made it a law that it was going to be a covenant forever with, man. And it's ultimately through that seed, through Jacob's lineage, came the Messiah, came the actual Son of God. That's why I said it behooved him to be made like unto his brethren. It's gone. We're getting back to the first estate of things, man. Why the earth was created in the first place. It wasn't created for this mundane 3S life that you live right now. It was created for the sons of God to rule and for the earth to be able to see how to live righteously. That's why when you get Isaiah the 2nd chapter, it says that all of the nations are going to come down to learn from who? The God of Jacob. You're not going to be learning from the God of Ishmael. It ain't going to be, oh, I want to tap into the ways of Confucius. Oh, I want to go into the Keeper Negas. None of that, man. It's only going to be you're going to learn the ways of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. Go ahead.
Verse 14. I, Daniel,
I'll get Isaiah 2. Okay.
You can start.
At the top.
Isaiah 2, verse 1. The word that Isaiah, the son of Amos, saw concerning Judah and Jerusalem. And it shall come to pass in the last days that the mountain of the Lord's house shall be established in the top of the mountains. It shall be exalted above the hills.
Yep. What does the mountain represent? The government. Right? In Isaiah the 9th chapter, it says what? That the government was upon his shoulders. So the mountain of the Lord's house, what is the Lord's house? We are the Lord's house, the temple of God. We are the temple of God. It says in Revelation, behold, the tabernacle of God is with men. So our government is going to be established on top of every other government, man. Every other small country, large country. On the earth, this is happening here. Not here, but on this planet. Go ahead.
And all nations shall flow unto it. And many people shall go and say, come ye, and let us go up to the mountain of the Lord, to the house of the God of Jacob. And he will teach us of his ways, and we will walk in his paths. For out of Zion shall go forth the law and the word of the Lord from Jerusalem.
Now, what is our way? What are our ways? What does Jerusalem mean? Jerusalem means what? Teachers of peace. So they're going to learn. Yahweh Shai is known as what? Malak Tazadak, king of righteousness. Malak Shalom, king of peace. Right? They're going to learn how to have actual peace on the earth, man. That's what these nations are going to find out how to actually get peace on the earth. That's what everybody always say they want, right? Isn't that what people want? Then Trump just came out and said, I'm a peacemaker. Well, you about to see how much of a lie he really is. But at the end of the day, people always are talking about, yo, I just want peace. You can't even get peace in your own household. Under Esau's kingdom, you warring against your own family members. Your wife, there's always an argument. Your children. But in the kingdom, we're going to teach the world how to actually have peace. And it's going to be by way of what? Establishing the laws of Yahweh on the earth, man. That's how you get peace on the earth. Why do you think amongst the brotherhood, there's rarely ever any arguments? There's rarely ever unpeaceful amongst the brotherhood, man. Now, I'm not saying that brothers don't disagree, because we're still in the flesh, but really when we're in the spirit of Yahweh Shai, when we're doing things that pertains to Yahweh Shai, it's always peaceful.
So usually those arguments happen. Usually those arguments are points of we're going to come to a conclusion of the matter.
We're not arguing like, all right, fuck that brother. Like, I'm not dealing with that brother. At the end of the day, we'll figure it out and then move on.
Yep. And those arguments are never about things of the truth. It's really about the carnal disagreements that brothers may have. Because when it comes to the truth, there's just nothing but peace amongst that. When you understand and believe in the same doctrine, right? When Yahweh Shai is in us, when the Spirit is with us, then there is no peace, there is no disagreement that can happen between them. Yeah, fake jokes. You see? So we're going to teach how to have true peace on the earth, man. And that's why, as you keep reading, go ahead.
Verse 4, and he shall judge among the nations, and shall rebuke many people, and they shall beat their swords into plowshares, and their spears into pruning hooks. Nation shall not lift up sword against nation, neither shall they learn war anymore.
There you go. Why? because there's not gonna be any need for war anymore. Mainly because you just got you had a God come out of the sky that just completely destroyed what you deemed as the greatest greatest country on the earth, and then all the other nations that fight up against him, he gonna destroy them easily. So they ain't gonna have any other. I mean, you use all of your nukes. What else you got? So that's gonna be one reason why you ain't gonna learn war no more. But then on top of that, also, it's gonna be because we're going to establish how to live peacefully on the earth. Now, for that first 1,000 years, it's not going to be real peaceful for you heathens, because you're going to have to, your brain, right? Just like how you learned wickedness, your brain is going to have to be rewired to learn righteousness. You're going to have to learn why being a sodomite is wrong. Why eating certain foods is wrong. You've been doing this for the whole heathenistic rulership, but there's an end to that. There's an end to you thinking, oh, I can eat this. There's nothing wrong with that. There's going to be an end to that way of thinking. And that's going to come back. It's going to come by when you do it. There's going to be a quick judgment for doing so. And then you want to see how we're living and how we appear, and that is going to be a what do they call it? Inspirational for you. I want to be like the sons of God. Teach us how can we live like you? You're immortals. How can we be immortals like you? Well, you got to keep the laws perfectly. Try that. Try to keep the laws perfectly. Then you can be an immortal. Every day. Just try to keep the laws perfectly. So what do you think they're going to do? Because what is everybody afraid of? Death. Nobody wants to die. So when they see the sons of God not dying, just living forever, well, y'all get to live forever. We want to live forever. And what is that going to end up doing? Their lives are going to be prolonged. They're going to live longer after that. There's going to be less cancer. You're going to have less high blood pressure, less diabetes. Yeah, but over time, it's going to become less and less, because it's not going to happen in one day. But as days go by and as people continue to try to keep the laws, that's when it's going to become less and less. That's why it says in Isaiah 9:6, that, get it for me. Yep.
This is Isaiah 9, verse 6. For unto us a child is born, unto us a son is given, and the government shall be upon his shoulder, and his name shall be called Wonderful Counselor, the Mighty God, the Everlasting Father, the Prince of Peace.
When Yahushua is on the scene, that's what they're going to be called. Remember, his reign is going to be on the earth. What man is called Wonderful when you see it? Everybody has, but Trump is magnified right now. But there's a lot of people that don't like Trump. Everybody has two sides to a coin, right? Everybody has people that love him, and everybody has people that don't love him. When Yahushua is on the earth, he's just wonderful. He's mighty. He's a prince. He's just always going to be magnifying him, glorifying him.
It's funny, like you're saying that the song was playing.
Oh, you hate me now? Yep, you see? Not really. Oh, shit. Yep. Hey, because when he was on the earth the first time, he was despised and rejected.
So it's called Hate Me Now.
Yeah, he's called Hate Me Now. Yep.
I was gonna say when Yahushua comes back, you gotta remember that's a direct express representation, visible feature of the Heavenly Father. That's what Yahushua really is. So when you see Yahushua, when he comes back to the earth, it's like saying Yahweh on the earth, but just not Yahweh. That's what people don't understand. Like they don't never talk about he's the actual representation of the Heavenly Father. That's why he said, "You see me, you see my Father in heaven." So how much more when he comes in his glory? Yeah, in Hebrews, the first chapter says, "What? He's the express image of the Heavenly Father, of the Lord." All caps. So that's when he comes back. He's gonna be cooking it in that manner. That's why he's gonna be adored. That's why he's gonna be loved. That's why he's gonna be feared. That's why he's gonna be praised. Because they're gonna see him and be like, yo, oh, like this is another entity we've never seen before.
He's gonna be the tallest,
Yup.
the powerfulest,
Yup.
the most beautifulest,
Yup.
the wisest. He's going to have literally all attributes that every person could ever think to wish for and beyond that. He's not going to lack in one attribute. A flawless person, man. So that's why he's going to have all those titles.
Oh yeah.
Yep. Go ahead, bro.
Verse 7. Of the increase of his government and peace, there shall be no end.
It's not right there. It says, of the increase of his government and peace, there should be no end. There's not going to be a point in time where, because you had a time in America where they call it Pax Americana, where peace was within the American empire. Mainly, really, for a short time, but after World War II, where you had the certain countries that got defeated, there was they were destroyed. What happened?
Called the Axis powers.
Yeah, the Axis powers was destroyed. So all of the allies, they basically had dominion, and those other powers had to pay retribution to the Western society, being led by America. So you didn't have any wars, so there was a Pax Americana, right? Because when America dropped those 2 bombs on Japan, that basically, ended the wars. Hiroshima, yep. Fat Man and Little Boy. But as you see it now, it's not looking too peaceful. You got wars with Russia, wars, economic wars with China, and ultimately these things are just going to elevate to World War III. But in the Lord's kingdom, the peace is never going to end, and actually the peace is only going to increase. Because where does war and violence stem from? It stems from what? Breaking of the law. But as time progresses in the kingdom, the laws are going to be implemented and followed more and more and more. You have the first generation of humanity, right? They're going to have to get beat into, following the laws, but then they're going to continue to reproduce. These other nations are going to continue to reproduce. And they're not going to be telling their children, oh yeah, we're going to be following Christmas and New Year's Day, celebrating New Year's Day. Nah, that stops. That stops. So 3 or 4 generations down the line, there's not going to be no celebrations of Christmas, New Year. I mean, it's going to stop immediately. But when they get born, they're not even going to have that information of knowing, celebrating Christmas. Because they're going to be flowing into what? The God of Jacob. They're going to learn of our laws. So what are they going to be celebrating? Your high holy days now become the high holy days of Israel. That's what you're going to be celebrating.
And just like when we celebrate your holidays, our people, or the ignorant of our people, celebrate your holy days that basically toast to our destruction. Y'all gonna be celebrating the damn Persians and the Edomites and all the nations are gonna be celebrating holy days that we have to celebrate your destruction. The Egyptians are gonna celebrate Passover.
Yep. Hey, y'all gonna celebrate the day of the Lord. Remember, it says, you get that in Jeremiah 16 and 14. It said that after when the Lord come back, it's no longer going to be talked about the Lord liveth. You got it.
Jeremiah 16, 14.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Jeremiah chapter 16, verse 14. Therefore, behold, the days come, saith the Lord, that it shall no more be said, the Lord liveth, that brought up the children of Israel out of the land of Egypt.
So that's a high holy day, right? It still says to this day that Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai liveth, that delivered us out of Egypt by the hand of Moses. And we celebrate that. Guess what? The world knows about that. You can ask a so-called Chinese, you ever heard of Moses? Oh, yeah. They may not have intricate details. Yeah, they might not have intricate details, but they'll tell you, oh, yeah, that's when they split the Red Sea. That's an actual event that happened in the earth that other nations know about because the Lord magnified his name because through that deliverance. And who he do that for? He did that for the nation of Israel. Now, were there other nations that the mixed multitude that was there? Yeah, they got taken out as well. But that was a deliverance specifically, exclusively for who? The Israelites. Go ahead.
But the Lord liveth that brought up the children of Israel from the land of the north and from all the lands whither he had driven them.
Right? Because when America gets destroyed, you don't think those Iranians going to be happy? They're chanting DTA now. You got a lot of nations of people that hate America. Now they don't have the power, right? I'm talking about you know them Afghanis, right, or you know regular civilians. They don't got the power to destroy America. The Lord is working on the minds of the kings that do got the power to destroy it, and ultimately when Yahweh Shai comes. But these other nations some of these nations are going to wail and weep, the ones that live deliciously with her. But then you have other nations that are going to be excited that America got destroyed, but then they're going to have to see, they ain't going to have real time to be real happy because they're going to have to deal with the Lord. But it's going to be said that the Lord liveth that did what?
Brought up the children of Israel from the land of the north and from all the lands whither he had driven them, and I will bring them again into their land that I gave unto their fathers.
So that's going to be a high holy day in the kingdom. Why would not the day of the Lord be that's going to be the highest holy day, man? Remember, we still going to have the Feast of Tabernacles. We're still going to have the Feast of Weeks, right? The Passover. But that day that the Lord come back is going to be a day to be remembered forever. It may not be bitter herbs. It may be a whole different way of celebrating. You know, but going back to the point, you're going to learn of our ways, and that's going to be something that is going to be repetitively taught unto you. And as it says in Isaiah, you're going to beat your swords into plowshares. Right now, you're doing the reverse, but in the kingdom, you're going to beat your swords into plowshares because of what reasoning? So the technology and all of your mindset of trying to build weaponry, that's going to go out the window. Now you're going to have to build tools to create tools to build. And what are you going to be building? Our kingdom. All people on the earth, everybody has different fields of work, right? They have different career jobs. When the Lord returns, everybody's going to have one job. One job. That's it. And for the first 7 years, like we was talking about, your one job is going to be what? Burying bodies. Continual employment for 7 years, burying bodies. And then after that, now you got to start building our kingdom. And these are regular, still human beings that you see right now. You're building the kingdom of heaven. Our streets being paved with gold. You got to pay. Somebody got to pave those streets. Yeah, beat those swords into plowshares. Yeah, the technology that we're gonna have from the Lord, we're gonna show you how to use this technology to build our kingdom up. Just like how you're using a new computer come out, you get taught how to use a new computer. You get taught how to use the new Tesla. Well, you're gonna get taught you ain't gonna be trying driving no chariot, but you're gonna be taught how to use a tool to pave our streets. Because you ain't gonna be using Esau's John Deere shit. Yeah, you ain't gonna be using that. Because those things pollute the earth. All of ours, you want to talk about the new green plan, right? Green. Yeah, going green. All of our technology is actually going to benefit the earth. So you're going to be taught how to use these things to build up our kingdom. Yeah, the 12 foundations of the city, those are actual stones that are found in the earth. We're not going to some other universe to grab emeralds. You got emeralds right in the planet Earth. Carpenter, you can Google what a carpenter look like, what an emerald look like, what a sapphire look like. That's what our kingdom is going to, our gates, our foundation is going to be built with. So everybody that's left on the earth, yeah, grab your leaders. We're going to grab your leaders first. If Elon Musk make it, if Kim Jong-un makes it, oh yeah, tell your people that you're working for us now. We'll be back to come and grab your strongest. Actually, grab them all. They don't matter just the strongest. Y'all all coming. They get kings, yep. So imagine Kim Jong-un or Xi Jinping now talking about what they're doing and what plans they got for China. And then when the Lord come back, they ain't changed. Yeah, we gotta go to serve the sons of God, Yahweh Shai and the elect, the first fruits. We are now their servants.
What's funny is, if I may, I would drop one of my clients, I think it was yesterday. I don't know how true it is. I looked it up. I didn't hear that he said it, but he told me, he said he heard that he said that Putin said that the world is waiting for the blacks to rule. Now, Putin also did this. Putin was also the guy that brought the whole Russian icons.
Yeah.
The brother's been talking about that, but he said this a couple days ago when I asked him yesterday. And I looked it up. I ain't seen no thing of it, but like, it's not like he's talking on motherfucking like heavily publicized that.
This was a Jake that said it?
Yeah, when I got to drive, it was Jake. But irregardless, that's the vibration that's out here because, you know, there was already said that the Jews left black, came back white. So everybody knows that we're supposed to be on top. But we don't have the power, but we don't have the spirit. When we don't have the power, we have the spirit, but we don't have the actual tools to rule because that's what Yahweh Shai is bringing. He's bringing that power from on high. We can't do that just with having the Holy Spirit and having this knowledge. We actually have to have the actual beneficiary, which is Yahweh Shai, from the Heavenly Father to bring that order on the earth. And that's what we're waiting for. And that's what we're hoping to be delivered from that judgment that he's bringing to the earth.
Yep. And everything that we're seeing happening is all pointing to that. That's why we are excited for these times, man. That's why we're seeing these things. You should be in a spirit of hastening and excitement, because the Lord said that this generation is not going to pass till all these things be fulfilled. We don't have to think about 20 years from now, 30 years from now, man. Lord willing, we don't got to think about 5 years from now. You guys know?
Yeah, something to back up your previous point. Zechariah 14:17, and it shall be that whoso will not come up of all the families of the earth unto Jerusalem to worship the King, the Lord of hosts, even upon them shall be no rain.
See? So this is going to happen in the kingdom. These small hats ain't doing that. They saying that they're the Lord chosen people. They're in the promised land. They're receiving the blessing. So a part of the blessing is having these other nations serve your God. Why are they not doing that? But as it says there, if you don't come to celebrate the Feast of Tabernacles, we're going to be able to plague you as often as we will. Revelation 11, it says that, right? They'll be able to plague you as often as we will. Because once again, you're not going to have the laws just implanted in you. So your mind, you're still of this earth in this way of thinking mindset. So when you're not thinking about, I don't want to go and serve the Feast of Tabernacles. Okay. So then you get hit. Yeah. That, remember, there ain't gonna be no supermarkets in a sense of, I can just go to the supermarket and buy food. Ain't gonna be no GMOs, no Monsantos. It ain't gonna be no lab grown meat. You're gonna have to go back to tilling the earth. Remember, in the paradise in Eden, the earth was a paradise because there was a way the society was being ran underneath Adam. You tilled the earth. You have a land Sabbath. You took care of the earth, and then the earth took care of you. Esau doesn't take care of the earth. That's why the foods we eat is all cancerous. You got recalls on every single damn product that you have because he's not taking care of the earth where the food come from. The plant, the animals are defiled. The plants are defiled. No, go ahead.
How do you have recalls on food just like you got recalls on cars?
Right. So in the kingdom, when we institute the way of life, you're going to have to actually go into the plant seeds, cultivate the earth. You have to take care of sheep. You have to share the sheep in order to get your meat. Yeah, definitely not that. If we find you out here doing bestiality shit, you're going to get judged immediately. And that's the beauty of it, because we're going to have power over the spirit. It says that the Lord shall give us power over the nations. If you go into that word power, exousia, it says that we're going to have mental power, spiritual. The things that Esau was talking about earlier that he's trying to do with his exousia, we're going to have that literally without that being put in us. The Lord will put his laws in us, and that's going to unlock everything else that we need in order to have spiritual power. So if you break the law, you're going to get judged immediately for it.
He said, we're going to turn big rocks into little rocks every day, all day.
There you go. And if you don't, as it says, do you read that part again about the crops? No rain.
And it shall be that whoso will not come up of all the families of the earth unto Jerusalem to worship the King, the Lord of hosts, even upon them shall be no rain.
Yep. Because Esau boasted in the fact that you've all say, oh, the God of heaven wanted to stop it from raining. We could piss him off and we can make it rain ourselves. Cloud seeding, as they call it. Well, there ain't gonna be none of that either in the kingdom. Rain is gonna be very, very important. I mean, it's very, very important now. Ask Callie. Ask Callie how important rain is. But when it comes to your actual crops and you being able, now you get hit with no rain. That time period. It doesn't say how long. We can hit you with no rain for a whole year. And remember, you don't get to go to a supermarket to get food. That means you're about to starve. You're about to have a scarcity of food for a whole year. What happened?
Ain't no bottled water.
Oh, ain't no water? Yep. There ain't no irrigation. This type of irrigation system. We don't have an irrigation system, but it ain't gonna be this. So your whole society gonna be messed up. So it's gonna make you want to celebrate the Feast of Tabernacles. You're gonna be mad diligent the next year around. You might be the first village that come up. No, we gotta go to the feast. Everybody gonna be stopping what they do. No, we gotta go to the feast and that's gonna be a beautiful thing. You see, these heathens gonna be excited to learn about our ways, man. That's the beauty of being empowered at the Lord and establishing righteousness on the earth. That's why, and we're gonna close it out. Give me a second, Peter 3. That's why it says that the new heaven and new earth wherein dwelleth righteousness, man. Start from where I just quoted. New heaven, new earth, wherein dwelleth righteousness. I think it's like around 10. That's what Yahweh Shai is coming to establish on this earth, man. That's the kingdom. And in order for that to get here, which is soon, this one got to go. Because this one is just death, man. It's death all over.
2 Peter 3, verse 10. But the day of the Lord will come as a thief in the night, in the which the heavens shall pass away with a great noise, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat. The earth also and the works thereof, and the works that are therein shall be burnt up.
Now remember, this is the day of the Lord. This isn't hell, right? Where you die and there's some demons waiting for you with a pitchfork. No, this is the day, right? What are days constituted by? The sun and the moon, everything that happens on the earth. So the day of the Lord is what? Is going to be a big fire, man. A lot of fire is going to happen on that day. Go ahead.
Seeing that all these things shall be dissolved, what manner of person ought ye to be in all holy conversation and godliness?
So as seeing that all this is going to be done away with, why are you putting your spirit into this, man? Yeah, we're users of the world, but we're not abused. The main focus is trying to figure out how to get up on that chariot. Noah, when he was warned of God, you don't think Noah before he was warned of God had a life that he was doing? You don't think he had, all right, I had to go do this today. I got to make sure I do this. He had Aaron, he had responsibilities. It wasn't like just Noah was just laying there and God is, oh, then I'm just going to, you think Noah's life didn't start when he started building the ark. But when he got warned of the Most High, that became his priority. We have been warned of the Most High by Hashem Yahweh Shai that this day is coming. So what is the priority? Building that spiritual ark. That is supposed to be the manner. Well, that's why it says, what manner of persons ought ye to be in all holy conversation and godliness. Your manner, your conduct, right? Your anastrophe in the Greek is supposed to be based off of this work right here. Go ahead.
Looking for and hasting unto the coming of the day of the Most High, wherein the heavens being on fire shall be dissolved, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat. Nevertheless, we, according to his promise, look for new heavens and a new earth, wherein dwelleth righteousness.
There you go. According to his promise. And who did he promise that to? He promised that to Abraham, Isaac, and he said, through your seed, all nations are going to be blessed. He gave Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob the wisdom and knowledge in order to implement righteousness on the earth, and ultimately through who? Yahweh Shai. Wisdom of Solomon 8th chapter tells you that wisdom found her rest amongst Jacob. So it's not until Jacob is in authority that righteousness will be on the earth. A new heaven, a new way, a new government, a new way of life, right? New earth, wherein dwelleth righteousness. And that is what the house of David, the throne of David, the kingdom of heaven on earth is going to establish. With that, we'll close it out. Giving all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rakadash. Double honor to the elders, apostles, great millstone, peace, and salutations to the elect. Till next time, Shalom.